Hey there, Michael here. I was gonna set up a whole thing and post a video here on YouTube, and I just couldn't bother with all the fuss, all the muss. I wanted to come on here and talk about something that, in my experience working with a lot of people, is a very difficult emotion to work with. So, for 15 years now, I have been helping a lot of people find emotional peace and balance. So my mentoring work is helping people function in the workforce, function in their relationships in their life. But really, the commodity that I'm intrigued with is about our emotional health. Now, I'm not a clinical psychotherapist. So clinical psychotherapy is very much into the why, lots of talking. Full disclosure, I started therapy at the age of 8. This is why I do this work. My father was a family therapist. But I started psychotherapy as an 8-year-old because I was dealing with a borderline personality disorder mother, and a lot of abuse, a lot of stuff was in there when I was a kid. So I've been around the therapy model for years. The therapy model says that we have to figure out why we are the way we are. We got it from mommy, daddy, all these things. Those things matter a great deal. At the same time, one of the models that I found has been very helpful for me are many of the models that currently exist. And there's two ways of thinking about how we heal. The first model in self-help from very well-educated self-help people is that we have to think thoughts, right, on demand, that coincide with the creation of an identity and a belief system that seeps into our unconscious and then infiltrates how we present in the world, how we identify in the world. So if we're a person who struggles with money and we say, money comes into my life consistently and with ease, which was a mantra that I came up with when I was really challenged with money stuff, it presupposes a certain identity of the kind of person. And then you specify down and you say, well, what kind of habits, what are the behaviors? What does that person feel like when it comes to money? And how do they engage with money? And that kind of person, of course, is free-flowing. They're chill. They trust. They know that money comes in. They don't worry about it. They look at money as a friend. So that's a model that's enormous in self-help, which is thoughts create beliefs, create identity, and the words you speak. So it's always like thoughts, words you speak. That's the whole model there. Well, there's another model that I don't hear a lot of people talk about because I think those of us professionals in self-help, we tend to always repeat the models because they work. There's also the model, though, that the body, the physiological body, and this was always my thing, was I always felt things in my body. And I used to be sick all the time when I was younger, have physical illnesses and things like that. So the physical body, when it's carrying around negative emotions, it will actually cause the mind to go haywire. So it's not just the mind's thoughts on their own create negative emotions in the body, but it's a pattern. It's also the other way around. The body with held negative emotions will cause the thoughts to go bonkers, right? So I was just talking with a beautiful client that I used to know, and they're going through an emotion that, frankly, none of us ever want to feel. It's grief. Now, they've experienced a great loss, and I have a lot of experience with grief. Grief is a very, very strange emotion. Grief is like a thunderstorm that comes in with wind and rain and lightning, and you're caught up in it. It's like a flash storm inside your body, and it takes you over. It's just horrible the way it feels. But like a flash storm, when it passes, it's a beautiful day. Like you love the sun, it feels great. The emotion of grief is so overwhelming that the last thing we want to do is surrender to the grief and let it overtake us and then let it go. But it is the one thing we want to do. So it's a bit of the psychotherapeutic model, which is the emotions that we don't want to feel. If we compartmentalize them, which can be helpful to function, you don't want to be bawling during a board meeting if you're battling grief, but ultimately, those compartmentalized emotions, they lodge in the body. It is my conviction from having met with so many beautiful people over the years struggling with this, and with myself and these models I've studied, the emotions lodge inside the body. And if we don't express them, my conviction is that's what causes illness. It's like calcium in the veins. If we don't take care of ourselves, it constricts blood flow, right? So negative emotions held in the body perpetuate and don't go away, so that they cause the negative thoughts in the head to be so loud and pervasive that we can't get away from them. Now, if you're anyone who's been struggling with negative emotions, and we all do, fear, anger, I tend to think rage is probably the emotional really feeling, then our job is to take time to go into the inner body. When you feel tension, when you feel anxiety, know those are foreign bodies, okay? Those negative emotions are foreign. They're not you. You are peaceful. You and I, we're pretty chill. We're pretty easygoing inside. We're not indignant. We're not rageful. We're not angry. Not cut up. But what happens is we're listening to the mind's thoughts about things, so some of those emotions are exasperated inside of us. And sometimes from years past and years before this moment, the emotions from previous things are still lodged in us. So take some time, and I tell this to everyone, to really go inside your body. And if you're feeling, tension, which is often in the chest, or you're feeling tightness in your stomach. Now, it's going to sound like a crazy metaphor, but I found with everybody it works. The body is pretty literal. The body doesn't lie. So whatever physical symptom you're feeling, it is indicative of what's going on. I was talking to this amazing guy. He's so cool. He's in New York, and he's involved in machine learning, which is part of AI. And this beautiful man, he was having stomach issues and, gas. And I said, well, what do you think that's about? And he's like, gas. I was like, yes. And I said, you're not listening to your gut. Another client, and many women have frozen shoulder. Now, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to diagnose. So if this does not resonate, please don't listen to it. But frozen shoulders, it's like we're carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders. And women, of course, are unduly expected to be caregivers. I know a lot of women who hate being caregivers. They don't want it. And can you blame them? So when we take on the weight of this, our body responds. You don't have to believe this. Test it out for yourself. So the body is an indication of what's going on with us emotionally, right? And when we let go of the negative emotions that live inside the body, we end up feeling so much better. And the thoughts in our head start to calm down. So play with this model. Again, self-helpery, the big idea. Thoughts and the words we say matter. Thoughts and emotion, they create belief systems. They create identities, right? Those matter. Mantras matter. Has to be said with feeling, as we all know. At the same time, it is a circular system. The body, if we don't pay attention to it and don't release the negative emotions, feel them and release them, which is, part of the classic therapeutic model, but it works. We don't have to go back to the origin of why we felt the negative emotion. We just have to know we're feeling it now. And in the consciousness model of this model, we just have to then let it go. But we don't deny it. And this is the last thing I'll say. It's going to feel like this is the last thing you want to do too. Welcome the negative emotion. Be friendly with the negative emotion. See, our minds don't want that. Our minds, they love a fight. They love a problem. So if you say, I'm going to be friendly and welcome these negative emotions, your mind's going to go, you're a lunatic. What are you doing? Fuck no. Fight these things. Throw them away. No. Don't listen. Your mind on its own is a trickster and a liar. Unless you think the thoughts on demand, your mind's not your friend. And you know this, we all know this. But welcome the negative emotions, be friendly with them, and then say to yourself, I'm surrendering and letting these things go. Go inside the body. I know it's a strange concept. Go inside the body and let them go. And the analogy I've used lately is like an ice cream cone on a hot summer day. Just watch the ice cream melt off of the cone. Like, let the emotions go. Let them melt off of the cone. All right, I had to share this talking with this beautiful person on the phone and say to you, these dark emotions, these grieving feelings, they can be overwhelming, but they're just feelings. They're not going to hurt you. They're not going to kill you. They really aren't. I've felt a lot in my life, extreme emotions, I promise you, but you must face them, welcome them. You must make a peace with them, be friendly with them, and then you must let them go. If you do that, they will not haunt you anymore and they won't make your mind think negative thoughts. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Have a wonderful day.